Hey you guys, it's me SpongeBob number 1 fan 2003 here, and Happy New Year! Yay! So yep, today it is the first day of 2022, and I really hope that 2022 will be a very, very good year for us. Anyway, so as you can see, I have this really cool SpongeBob 2-in-1 book, and this one is called Demolition Derby, and the other story is called Class Confusion, and I already have Class Confusion by itself, but obviously Demolition Derby, I never had this story right here before, and I don't see this book as its normal self, just one book, but yeah, you hopefully get the picture, so one story, Okay, anyway, as you can see on the front cover of Demolition Derby, there's adorable little SpongeBob and his little tiny car. And then there are two mean guys right there in their big cars. And obviously, this is a 2-in-1 book, and it has over 50 stickers inside, and I love stickers so much. Okay, and then here is the spine really quick here. And then here is the Class Confusion book cover. Obviously, you've already seen this one. It has SpongeBob, there's Horace, there's Patrick, Mrs. Puff, and some other fish. And again, 2 books in 1, over 50 stickers. Gotta love stickers. Alright, so let's go ahead and start looking at the pages in Demolition Derby. Oh. Okay, so there's a little picture of SpongeBob right here in his little tiny boat car, number 2. And obviously this is based on Demolition Doofus. And this book was made in 2013, and it was illustrated by Dave Eakins. Okay, so SpongeBob is actually going to go to boating school for his boating test, or driving test. And he actually messes up Squidward's garden, and, Squidward's picking out carrots, but SpongeBob destroys them. And then SpongeBob arrives at school, and Mrs. Puff is obviously not ready, because she knows what's going to happen. And I'm pretty sure you guys know what's going to happen. So, of course, SpongeBob does the wrong thing, and he smashes into other cars, and Mrs. Puff blows up really, really big. And apparently they float toward the lighthouse, and unfortunately the lighthouse is destroyed, and Mrs. Puff gets so badly injured that she is all flat and she can never puff again. And SpongeBob says, maybe we should start calling you Mrs. Puff. And so Mrs. Puff is very, very mad at SpongeBob. And SpongeBob brings her flowers, and you can see a lot of get well soon and be well balloons, and there's a bunch of flowers as well. I'm so sorry. But yeah, the flowers actually make Mrs. Puff sneeze. And then Mrs. Puff and SpongeBob see a lot of injured men smashing boats for entertainment. And Mrs. Puff has an idea to get rid of SpongeBob, and she asks him, how would you like to earn some extra credit? So Mrs. Puff's old friend sees SpongeBob, and, for the demolition, the derby, and he takes off one of his socks and he puts it on SpongeBob, so SpongeBob now has his outfit ready. He looks actually really cute. Look at him. He looks so adorable. But now it's time for the Demolition Derby, which is the title of this book. And you can see that the picture looks very similar to the front cover, except those two guys are opposite. SpongeBob doesn't have the sock on his head on the front cover. But yeah, obviously those two guys are not scared of SpongeBob and his tiny boat. I mean, just look at how cute SpongeBob is, though. He looks so innocent and adorable. But, so the derby begins, and everyone, and, SpongeBob is being very careful. He's actually doing everything right. But everyone else is, messing up and, getting injured, and their cars are getting damaged. And Mrs. Puff screams, "Squash the squish!" Oh yeah, that's right, SpongeBob's called a squish. Yeah, obviously little SpongeBob's being very, very careful, but everyone else is like getting very, very badly injured and all that. You probably remember the episode. And someone crashes into the wall and SpongeBob is like flying, but SpongeBob actually wins because SpongeBob was like the most careful or whatever. And then Mrs. Puff is in this big huge truck about ready to kill little SpongeBob or demolish him. And then they crash into the boarding school and Mrs. Puff is back to her normal self. She's all puffy again. And that's very, very good. And SpongeBob wants to know how much extra credit did he earn. I have a feeling that he didn't earn any. And then here are some of the stickers right here. These stickers are very, very nice. These ones are like school theme. There's Mrs. Puff and SpongeBob. Then SpongeBob and Patrick are in like school uniforms. And then they're in like boarding school desks. And then SpongeBob's reading a book. There's Squidward. And then there's Sandy. And Jellyfish. Hold on a second. And here's the other sheet of school stickers. Patrick and SpongeBob are eating sandwiches. SpongeBob's holding a big pencil. And SpongeBob is like doing some cute little things with his fingers. And Patrick's at a desk and he drops all of his stuff. And there's a bunch of cute stuff in there too. Alright, so that's all for Demolition Derby. And now let's take a look at Class Confusion. Even though I technically already did a review on Class Confusion a long time ago, like back in 2020, like a few days after my 17th birthday. And yeah, but this one's a little bit more shorter and different. Okay. And I have a feeling, yeah, this used to be a library book. There was like a big sticker right here. And right here it actually says discard, so just please ignore that. But I'm surprised that the stickers are still intact. That's really good. But yep, obviously this book was made in 2013, but I think since I have the original version of Class Confusion, I think the original version was made in 2006. I forgot already, but yeah, this one was made by Sarah Wilson and illustrated by Robert Dress. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, this one's gonna be really quick here since I already reviewed this book about a year ago. So SpongeBob, of course, has another boating accident, and Mrs. Puff is so upset that she wants to take a break from teaching for a day, so she decides to call in sick the next day. And then SpongeBob goes to school and finds a substitute. And then SpongeBob's silly, dumb classmate Horace decides to play a trick on the sub by pretending that Horace is SpongeBob and SpongeBob is Horace. And then the substitute takes attendance and Horace says here when the substitute yells SpongeBob, and then SpongeBob says here when the substitute says Horace. So gosh, that's so confusing to say. But then it's time to take a test, and SpongeBob and Horace, like, you know, Horace writes SpongeBob on his test and SpongeBob writes Horace on his test. And Horace gets to stay after school to, you know, collect the erasers or whatever, or, you know, do all that stuff. Because, you know, Horace is technically SpongeBob. And SpongeBob is so upset because the substitute didn't do anything right. And, you know, Horace and all that. And, you know, Mrs. Puff wasn't there. And SpongeBob goes to school the next day and he sees Mrs. Puff and he feels a lot better. And apparently SpongeBob actually passed his driving test, but obviously it was really Horace who did it. And SpongeBob realizes that he gets to graduate, but then he realizes no more Mrs. Puff, and he gets very, very upset. And then the next day, SpongeBob goes to the school, you know, to graduate and get his license, and he rented a halibut GXT for the special occasion, since he basically passed his test. And he's really going to miss Mrs. Puff. And then, apparently, 2 police officers see SpongeBob driving, and, they realize that Horace was the one who took the test, and he was the one who passed, or whatever. And SpongeBob has to go back to boating school, but he's really happy because then he gets to be with Mrs. Puff some more. But yeah, he's crying tears of joy, and that is just so sweet. But Mrs. Puff says, "Oh, I need a vacation." That's really, really funny. And that's all for Class Confusion. Hold on a minute, let me flip it over again. And we can take a look at the Class Confusion, I guess, stickers in here. I really like how they're like motorcycle and boating theme. I really like all that. They look very, very cool. But yeah, here they all are. There's Gary, and then there's SpongeBob Patrick in like a monster truck. They're in like little go-karts. And then SpongeBob is on like a motorcycle, so is Patrick. And Squidward's even in a racing boat. Yeah, these are all very, very cool. I really like all these ones. They're very neat. Alright, so that's all for Demolition Derby and Class Confusion. Well, yeah. That's all for Demolition Derby and Class Confusion. I actually quite enjoy this book. Probably my favorite story in here is definitely Demolition Derby. Don't get me wrong, I do like Class Confusion, but I have the original book of that, and to be honest, that one's better than the sort of, I guess, shorter version. But I really enjoy the stickers in here too. They're really, really cute. And I think the pictures are really, really nice too, especially how cute little SpongeBob is right here. Oh no. Yeah, so that's all for this book. Yay. So goodbye everybody. Have a great day and peace out. And I hope you guys enjoy 2022. Bye.